Learning to handstand online is funny these days. You either look through the web and you found countless of exercises and really none of them works for you, or you look through the web and you feel like you can find absolutely nothing at all. But the end of the story is that you simply don't know what to do because there's either too many or too little exercises. You're in luck, because today I'm going to break down for you precisely which progressions you need to learn to handstand, when you need them, and what exactly those exercises are going to do for you. I've spent the past 15 years training, performing, and coaching handstands, possibly more than anybody else in the world. I've helped countless clients go from this, to this, to this, and even to this. I have mapped out the precise journey that you have to take, taking every single roadblock that you might possibly hit into consideration. Now look at this entire system together. There are well over 2,000 exercises. So today, we're not going to focus on everything. We're only going to focus on the technical drills that are going to allow you to move forward and get your handstand. When we look at your handstand training, we first have to look at the very bottom, the foundation of your training. Number one, you want to be strong. Your arms, your shoulders, and your core have to resist so they don't crumble underneath your body's weight. Additionally, you need strong legs to hold them up and to stay stable in your positions. Number two, of course, is mobility. The more flexible you are, the easier it's going to become for you to move your joints through the required ranges. Keep in mind, if you're not very flexible, you're not just fighting gravity, you're also fighting the internal resistance of your body. And number three, you have proprioception, coordination of understanding what your body is doing in space, especially upside down, something that's not easy and something that's really going to have to be developed. Every single time you train for your handstands, all of these three aspects are going to improve. But from time to time, you're going to have to focus in on one of these particularly, isolate them, and make true gains to be then able to push your handstand practice forward again. From this very foundation, we have exercise progressions. Basically a ladder that lets us climb higher and higher, trying to reach that next level. When you're training handstands, the very first level, the first thing you have to learn is the chest to wall handstand. You don't have to be able to do a wall walk just yet, but you need to find a way to get up somehow to the wall. Once you've reached that goal, you start climbing again, you're going to get comfortable at the wall. We're staying at the wall, we're not leaving the wall at all just yet, but we basically learn how to stack our body and how to isolate one part of the body, how to move your leg whilst your shoulders and arms stay perfectly stable. From there, we keep climbing and we start introducing wall hovers into your training. The wall hover is going to basically teach you where to put your weight in your handstand and how to place more weight into your fingertips to commit towards the freestanding handstand. You want to hover your feet just off the wall, but you don't want to move the leg into the handstand just yet at all. You truly want to stay close to the wall. The next level is going to be the handstand takeoffs. That's where things truly get exciting. We build on these hovers, but now instead of just hovering, we actually have to move the leg to get into our final position. At this point, we also want to start investing into handstand mounts. Whilst we still get good at the wall, we're already going to focus on jumping up. Breaking this mental barrier and getting good at coordinating a dynamic movement onto the hands is going to take some time. We want to start with that early. Next, we have advanced handstand wall takeoffs and freestanding handstands. Here the idea is that at the wall, we don't just hold a position, but we actually learn to transition in between different positions, going from tuck to straddle and back to straight, those kind of things. Having this buffer is going to allow us in the freestanding handstand to simply hold a position. That's going to be a huge and massive milestone because it's here where you're stable and comfortable without the wall. From here, endless possibilities open up. Presto handstand, advanced leg combinations, and of course, the one-arm handstand being one of the most popular choices for most athletes at this point. For the sake of today's video, to keep this somewhat condensed, we're going to cut the one-arm handstand and learning to wall handstand completely out of the equation. We're going to focus on that middle part and see precisely what I need you to do at which step of the way. Now we're in luck, because there's not just one single line of progressions that's going to help you level up, but there are actually four, allowing you that if you get stuck somewhere, you still have other ways where you can advance. Training only one of these progressions alone is going to be enough to learn the handstand, but it's not ideal. I know at some point you're going to completely obsess about one of them because you realize that one of them is just advancing and it's fun and it's great and it's fueling you, and that's okay. But it's important to remember that every single one of these progression tiers is going to teach you something else about your handstand that is absolutely vital to learn. So make sure you don't neglect the ones that are difficult, but actually double down on those that are difficult because those are probably the ones that you have to train more. The first of the four tiers is the single leg tuck takeoff. Most likely this is going to be the very first freestanding handstand that you're going to be doing. The second one is the tuck takeoff, building up from regular tuck slides. Honestly, this one is unmatched when it comes to building coordination and proprioception. Additionally, the tuck takeoff is an absolute shortcut to freestanding handstands if you're on the mobile side. Then we have the single leg takeoff, which is great for coordination and for understanding the mechanics of weight distribution in your handstand. And lastly, of course, my favorite, we have the slide away. This one is outstanding for building specific strength and for learning how to fight for your handstand when you're about to lose it. You now know the general levels that we're going to go through, and you know the 4 progression tiers. At this point, you already have a pretty clear idea of where in this list you're at currently. So let's have a look what exactly you need to train. The first level that we're looking at is getting good at the wall. For the single leg tuck takeoff line, you now need to learn the single leg tuck slide and the 45 handstand single leg tuck slide. The idea truly is isolation here. You want to stabilize the leg on top so it never ever moves, and all movement just happens in that leg that pulls into the tuck. If you look at the tuck takeoff line, you're staying fully on the wall. Your goal is simply to learn to tuck slide. If you're not very flexible, you really have to dial in and work hard here to make sure your elbows stay locked, scapula is elevated, and you push your hips out so your lower back arches slightly with your hips rotating in an anterior pelvic tilt. The slide away line at this point is still pretty simple. We're going to work on push-up leans and on the half slide away, just trying to build the coordination of leading the shoulders in front, sliding the feet down the wall, but not arching the back and not allowing the shoulder blade to stick out in the back. Lastly, of course, we have the single leg takeoff line. Here we want to work on the L handstand single leg isolation and the L handstand single leg tucks. The focus here really needs to be in placing your hands, shoulders, hips, and the top foot vertically aligned and not pushing your shoulders out towards the wall. If you work hard and dedicated, you have some strength available, within 2 weeks you should be fairly comfortable with these, and we can move on to the next level, the hover level. That's where things start to pick up a little bit. The 45 handstand single leg tuck slide now turns to the single leg tuck hover. Keep in mind, you want to get as little distance as possible between your foot and the wall, and you want to make sure that nothing but this foot moves. You truly have to take the straight line that you've built and move it towards the front into the fingertips. You want to get fingertip heavy and take control. For the tuck slide line, at this point you're going to focus on just getting your tuck slides better. You want to start flipping your hips so much into the anterior pelvic tilt that your knees don't touch the wall anymore, and you want to start training static holds. The slide away already starts to pick up quite a bit here. You want to do the half slide away to the 45 handstand, which is great for building coordination. Plus, you do want to do the slide away and the straddle slide away already. If you just work on the hover stage, your slide away and your straddle slide away by no means have to be perfect. At this point, we really just want to use a bit of momentum and try to get off the wall, get a little bit of hang time, and return back to the wall. For the single leg takeoff, we're going to do single leg hovers, just like we did in the single leg tuck takeoff, just so your leg is extended on top. This stage can take you anywhere between 2 weeks and honestly 6 months. I've seen it all, and there's no good or bad time here. Your body needs time to develop strength and proprioception. It's completely normal. We all start somewhere. Taking more time is always better because building a strong foundation is going to make sure you don't get stuck later. The next stage is exciting because we're starting to move further away from the wall. Your single leg tuck hover is going to turn into a proper single leg tuck takeoff. The 45 handstand hover is going to turn into a 45 handstand takeoff, where we actually close the legs on top for the first time, having a truly straight and freestanding handstand. Slide aways, we're not going to do any changes here. We simply focus on getting better at them. Remember the last stage, we just wanted to get off the wall? Now it would be time to start getting some proper holds in, well-aligned ones where we actually feel like we're in control. For the tuck takeoff, we're really taking it up a notch, and we actually start doing the tuck takeoff. We pull the feet off the wall and we arrive in a freestanding tuck handstand. Remember, now is also the time that we start working on our handstand mounts. The goal here is not at all to jump up and hold the freestanding handstand. Instead, we just want to get used and good at using momentum to get up into our hands. We practice the L walk up, the L wall jump, and of course the tuck jump to handstand also at the wall. If you did a great job at the stage before and you really took things serious, this stage should be fairly quick. 2 to 4 weeks. The next stage is where things truly get interesting, and you can honestly stay there for 6 to 12 months. Advanced handstand takeoffs means that we want to take the leg off the wall and move it into a different position. Your single leg tuck takeoff is going to turn into a single leg tuck takeoff to straight, single leg tuck takeoff to tuck, or even single leg tuck takeoff to straddle and back. The idea on all of these is that your legs move but your shoulders stay perfectly stable and your back doesn't arch. For your tuck takeoffs, the same thing. We're going to do tuck takeoff to straddle, tuck takeoff to straight, maybe even tuck leg circles. The cool thing here is that you're very, very close to the wall, so every time you come back to this tuck, you really have to focus on pulling in tight and compressing into a beautiful, strong and compact position. Single leg takeoff at this point becomes super important for you. Because doing a freestanding handstand doesn't just require skill, it also requires confidence, and that's where a lot of people really struggle. The L handstand allows you to go as far away as possible from the wall while still being able to use the wall to get up into your handstand. Get good at those. L handstand takeoff, to straddle, to tuck, leg circles. Practice as much as you can there because it's as close as you can possibly be to the actual freestanding handstand. Slide aways also become more interesting. We do slide away to straddle, straddle, slide away to legs together, or even single leg isolations. The great thing here is that in comparison to the L handstand, with the slide away, you're going to be super close to the wall, forcing you to stay in a straight line, because every single little mistake that you make, you're going to touch the wall straight away for instant feedback. At this final stage, we practice freestanding handstands. And depending on which exercise at the wall is your favorite, that's going to be pretty much your first freestanding handstand. If your single leg tuck takeoffs are the best, and it's like that for most people, you're going to learn to kick up to single leg tuck first. If you say that your tuck takeoffs are really good, and usually they're very good for more mobile people, then jumping to tuck and holding your tuck is for you. If you're not quite sure between the two, jumping to tuck and shooting straight up into the straight handstand is going to be a great solution for you. And of course, if miraculously the L handstand leg isolations are the best ones for you, well, then you're going to learn to kick up to handstand straight away. Your slide away is going to be used for every single handstand mount that you do, because every time you undershoot, you have to catch yourself using the strength and coordination that we've built during the slide away exercises. And there you have it, the complete wall to freestanding handstand progression tier list. One truly feeds another. Make sure you practice all of them, make sure you push hard on all of them. You're gonna get stuck at some point in one, another one's gonna improve, this one's gonna help you then level up the other one, and like this, bit by bit, step by step, you're gonna get better and you're gonna get all the handstands that you've ever wanted. If you like this style of training and you wanna take your handstands more serious, then I have just the right thing for you. It's called the Sunday Drops. It's an online program that I've created to help you level up your handstands 1 week at a time. Here's the idea. The first week of every single month is the assessment week. You're gonna upload exercise videos specific towards every single one of your 4 progression tiers. I'm gonna watch those videos personally, give you precise form feedback, and then grade you in every single one of these progression lists to make sure you have the right exercises to train. Every Sunday, I then release new goal-specific workouts into your dashboard. We're gonna train handstands, and we're gonna do additional workouts for your flexibility and strength to help you further level up your training. Of course, every single workout is customized towards your current level of progressions. Additionally, you're gonna get access to a comprehensive workout library that's gonna help you train other things that are maybe not on the program this particular week. Besides that, of course, you're gonna get access to advanced statistics and analytics to learn about your current level of handstand, strength, flexibility, and just to browse around and to learn more about the training that you're currently doing. You're also going to be added to a private group chat where you can ask all questions to me and to other athletes. We're going to do live workouts together, and of course a live Q&A where you can ask every single question and send additional training videos to get form feedback from me. If you want to take your handstand training serious, that's your opportunity. I'm going to see you there. Get to work.